Welcome back, folks, to the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Let's Play here on the HeavyBits channel. This has been a while since I actually did this, so be fair. I've been trying to reschedule my LPs and trying to get at least the amount of attention for every one of them. So yeah, Matt. So pretty much I've gotten everything done and I've recorded everything and I've just beaten Zelda. So yes, it is actually done. So let's move on to how do you access Dungeon 2? Well, this is actually Dungeon 2. This is known as the Swamp Dungeon, or someone calls it Watergate. So it pretty much tells you what happened. This probably will happen between the links of two worlds. No, not the new 3DS game. Is what happens between the parallels of Light World and Dark World. So what happens in Light World affects Dark World as well. So let's try this out, shall we? As soon as I start killing, monsters and shit. So that's that. Anything else? No? Good. Use the magic mirror here to go back to the Light World at this point. Everyone's taking their sweet arse time. No! God damn it! That was not meant to happen. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, we'll just do it in the safe position. Use the magic mirror here, you'll go back inside. This was where we picked up the, where the treasure chest was, so yeah, probably think to yourself, what we're going to do here? Well, we need to pull the switch again, because we actually have a reason to do it now. So if you want, you can use the magic powder against the anti-fairy to produce a fairy. Not the fairy type, but just basically the healing fairy kind. So pull the switch here and you'll let loose the stream of water. Now that we've affected what's going on in the Light World, something should happen in the Dark World as well. So head back to the Dark World, and now, since we've actually managed to open up the dungeon, it's less here, we can now enter the dungeon fully thanks to what we've done in the level. So let's begin. This is Crystal Dungeon number 2, known as Swamp Gate. What you need to do here, folks, is to use the take out the water skaters with the beam attacks. Also, you gotta take out the blobs there, and we open up this key for a treasure chest. This treasure chest takes us to the next floor below. This dungeon is full of tricky rooms and corridors and respawning trapping environments. Mind you, this is also the only water dungeon of this temple, so please, for the love of God, don't screw it up. Yeah, I agree. Don't fuck it up. Anyway, moving on. Before we move on to the room down there, I want you to press the I want you to use a bomb here, head towards the other side. Head towards the other side here. You pick up the dungeon map of this dungeon. Optional, since you have this guide, but what can you expect? Pretty considering. The dungeon item in this game is going to be very useful for us in the upcoming future. Very. What? Anyway, as I mentioned before, we can use the magic boomerang to take out the skulls here, which do a lot of damage. Also, we got these guys, which are the jellyfish. Not too good, especially the red jellyfish. So you got the blue jellyfish, which die in one hit. Green jellyfish is normal, does all that. That's sorted. Right, let's move on to the next part. Now, normally you'd be like, okay, get the key first. The key is really important. Without it, we're not gonna do much. So we can't do anything about that, though. However, you should notice that there's a magic hammer. So if you want, optional, I know, we're gonna use the other magic to destroy our enemies. Now get the magic hammer out that we bought in the last dungeon. This one is going to be useful. But before we pull the switch, there is a bombable wall here. Head to the left here, you'll find yourself in another room with just extras. Technically, you couldn't just do this normally. Alright, now, it's time to use the magic hammer. Take down the laughable things, and go to the other side and push left. you will now trigger the water, which will, of course, increase the water level, making that room that we just went to get the key inaccessible, but we can now effectively move on to the next part of the dungeon. Jump into the water, swim left, head up here. Now this was one of the dungeons I am familiar with. Welcome to the main room of this dungeon. This is going to be where we're going to be doing most of the dungeon. Is going to be most of the main room, all our subjects here. This is full of respawning enemies. So water blimps and scurrying about fishes. They're going to be your biggest concern. Very big concern. Note the giant chest. We cannot open that, regardless. But head down here, you'll pick yourself a heart piece, and then use the blocks to destroy the fish. You're probably thinking, yeah, it's an endless cycle, but there's a purpose here, so... run towards the left, it makes things easier. Another heart piece there. Head towards here, push this block, gives us the treasure chest. It's the compass. So the compass will give us the location of any other stuff that we missed, or where the location of the boss is. It'll be in the lowest point of the basement somewhere, so we really can't explore any of the areas. Just go to the south, but first off, head to the south left. Yes, I noticed. There is the area has been blocked off. I know, it has been blocked off. How much we can do about it? Oh, by the way, these are laser beam turrets. You cannot push that regardless of what... Well, technically you can, but there's actually a better way of doing it, avoiding this puzzle entirely. As you can see, you can't push it. You can't move the blocks at all. So you're probably thinking, what can you do? Well, this is where raising the water level in this dungeon actually comes in handy, because water levels allow us to skip anything that's ground related. So with the key in hand, head here. And there's the switch for this said dungeon. So let's use the Bombos medallion to take down more of these enemies. Believe me, it actually helps when you actually have this weapon. So, you're going to think to yourself, how are we going to trigger the, how are we going to trigger? Well, we're going to use a little bit of an advanced technique. We're going to use the bomb to, trigger that. For some reason, bomb explosions actually trigger, well, those. And with the bomb areas out of the way, we can now raise the water level again, taking it back to where we were before. But actually, we now go back towards the other side, like so. We get through. All of a sudden, yeah, let's go this way. Excellent, excellent. I like that. Back through here, if we can get up here. Game, thank you. Quit the boomerang again, just for reassurance. Heart piece, which helps. Another heart piece. How generous are you? How generous. And now we move on to another piece here. Okay, I'm thinking to show off the Quake Medallion is not that is the weakest of the three. It only stuns enemies, and not say, I don't know, destroy them outright like the Bombos or the freaking Bombos of the other medallion does. Yeah, I always prefer those bits. They're actually cool. Okay, check out the water creatures. Head up here. Nothing of interest there. But you can push the blocks here. Head left and then head up. You'll find yourself there's going to be a staircase up here. That's going to be very useful to you in a minute. So let's head up here. And now we proceed to the first floor again. So we actually have a vantage point this time. Yeah, let's get to it and use the other medallion to get rid of some of the enemies temporarily. The powerful chip. Okay, moving on. Head towards the right one first. That gives us a few problems, which I really should have, just realized, and I just made a mistake. Though I missed. Because the switch is different in one place than another. Which means I gotta trigger that switch back at. Where am I? God damn it. Now you can see why this room is kind of a tricky. This dungeon starts to get harder. Because it throws more challenges out there. For instance, laser beams that can only be deflected. So let's head down here, down this hole, down into the hole. This should be the big key. No, it's just a piece of room. I just wish. The bad news is means we're gonna have to go back to that room and trigger the yeah, we're gonna have to go back and trigger the crystal switch there. It's effectively easy now that we can actually cross the river. Effectively swim, and row your boat. Bollocks. Anyway, moving on. Head here. What you can do is a couple of things. First off, be a smart person and throw the bomb there, allowing me to go back here. Gives me an important shortcut. Yeah, now that we don't have the big... Just remembered, we don't have the big key yet. We can't do fuck all here. No, literally, we can't do shit. Let's move back up. Boop. This takes a bit of practicing and getting used to, but it's not that bad. And I inadvertently pressed the wrong button, so we're just trying to find the map. Our objective is to actually head towards the actually go beyond this point to the central, to the room in the top left corner. We have to get there. In order to do so, we need to avoid hitting everything in sight. I got a funny feeling this may be a death coming up because I didn't learn. No, I didn't. Alright, now that we've pushed down the switch, let's try this shit again, shall we? Indeed, let's try this again. Go back up to the first floor, push the block where we were, and then head to the right of this block, getting hit there. More getting hit, fall down here. Now that the block is out of the way, we can now actually go and claim our reward for doing this. Yes, right there. I can see it right here. It is a treasure chest that contains the big key. You know, now that we have the big key, well, we can finally move on to bigger things. But we're gonna use the magic mirror to go back to the dungeon because this makes things shit easier. Let's throw this way. No, and is that going to be my first death result? Yeah, it's a death, alright. Stupid me. But always have a fairy in handy because that's going to be very useful at this point. So, fairies are always important. Everyone's got to remember this. I think I'll call this the Swamp Gate dungeon because it's water. Because technically it's a swamp dungeon and it's water gate. So yeah, Swamp Gate dungeon. I like that. That's actually much better. Let's go into here, back to where we were. Okay, we're not going to use the Quake Medallion. Sadly, the Quake Medallion is fucking useless in this game. The only purpose it has is to open the one of the latter dungeons later, alongside the other medallion. Well, technically, Ether and Quake medallions are mandatory because they, you know. If they don't do that, then you're kinda, screwed getting into the later dungeons. So, alright. We can actually use them. I mean, there's not much you can do. Right, now that we have the big key, we can finally claim that treasure chest in the middle. And be surprised, it's gonna be a good item. I can tell. I can tell already. Right. The item of the dungeon is the hook shot. Boing! Extends the context and boing! You can grab. The hook shot is one of the most valuable items in the entire game. In fact, this was the first time a hook shot was introduced into the series. It is a really popular item that allows you to grip across items such as grappling across skulls. We can now clinch out a key that we missed here. And with the key in handy, lost things. What am I doing? Going back down here. I was just thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Really? What the fuck am I doing? Well, there's nothing I can clinch here, so I don't know why I'm doing this again. It's like, I don't know, going back. Not much point, you should just go back. Really, there isn't much point. Oh yeah, I was just collecting hearts. Good point. I was collecting hearts. This place does get a bit tricky. And technically, I can beat a Zelda game without relying too much on health potions. Use the hookshot here to get to this door, and we can finally move on to the newest room, which is this bit here. Okay, the hookshot will now safely allow us to take out these electrified gimps. All it does is it can safely take out enemies from a distance. Now, push this statue to that button there, it will open the door. Going into here, there's not much to pretty much point out. Also, the hookshot paralyzes enemies. Might I add, this is actually useful against skeletons, who will counter. Not much you can throw into that can actually be, salvageable or anything, but yeah. So, you can't really get the item there. It's a shame if I couldn't, I was full anyway. Alright, so head down this staircase there. Head down here. And the bad news is that I'm on the wrong side. Shit. It means I have to go around the other side. That is bullshit and a half, I know. There's not much you can do here. Just go down here. Actually, it's easier than killing these guys. You can't hit it with the Master Sword, you will get electric shock damage. I think these are the first, I think these are jellyfish? They're infamous bosses. So, let's see. Can't really do much of a dash there, so before we move on to the item, let's just pick this item up. Take this item. Push this to the statue block there, moving on to into the next part. Don't worry, we haven't got much to go anyway, so getting hit there. This is where we do have to go. Spot. And that's pretty much it here. Let's just head down there. Another heart piece, good. Now, as usual, push the switch there, and the water will drain, giving you access to the lower basement, which we will be taking advantage of. Literally, we will take advantage. We're allowing us to move on to the next room. So, this point, just go before we do anything. Head south, head east. We couldn't get the treasure chests here, mostly due to the fact that it shrunk. So we technically already did this bit, so let's kind of move up here to the previous room. Okay, now this is going to be a few guesses, because it's going to be like, what? Let's see, we can take a couple of heart pieces, just some other miscellaneous crap. Moving straight forward. Let's see. Head there, head there. Hey, one of these doors is fake. This is the fake door. This will allow us to head back up to the fourth floor. Back up to the top floor, because we're going to be heading towards that floor. Head up here. We're nearly done. I could sense the boss coming up. Yeah, I do sense the boss coming up. It's not much. Let me just remind myself who the boss is of this dungeon. So yeah, this is a big, huge waterway, which this waterway will allow you to yeah, essentially, there's a long hallway here, which we're using bombos to get rid of the enemies. Technically, you can swim past them, do all that. Yeah, this is, believe. Oh yeah, good point. So now we just open up the bomb thingy here and head up here. There's a healing point there. Note to self as well, if I actually noticed this as well, and I don't think many people did actually notice this, if you look at the description at the bottom of each dungeon, it pretty much tells you what the boss looks like. So the Helmasaur King looked like the Helmasaur King. Use the final key that we picked up, head up here. You're gonna need the hookshot for this boss. So take the hookshot out and say hello to the second boss of dungeon. To the second boss of this game in the Dark World. This is Argus. Argus is simple. All you have to do is get rid of all the creatures that are occupying his body. You've discovered that he is a giant jellyfish. Yeah, all you just have to do is take them, pretty much use a hook shot, attach yourself to one of Argos's fluffy minions. Keep swiping the sword until they're all gone. When you kill them all, he will move on to his final phase of attack, which, to be honest, is not very much. So, take that, and then swipe that, and all of his minions are gone. So, here's what I do. I charge up the sword and hit him. Keep going, mind you, this is actually an easy boss. Watch out for the range damage it does. It doesn't hit until you hit it. And just one more boss. Yep, that's the end of Argus. He's dead. Gives you another heart capsule. And the good news is we have crystal number 2. Well done, Link. You've saved the day again. And the best news is we've just saved our second maiden from Ganon's evil clutches. So let's find out more about the backstory of this game, shall we? Because that's what the maidens do. Link, because of you I can escape the clutches of the evil monsters, thank you. Ugh, standard shit. The Triforce will grant the wishes of whoever touched it, as long as that person lives. Okay, this is new. That is why it was hidden in the Golden Land. Only a select few know of its location, but at some point that knowledge was lost. The person who discovered the Golden Land was Ganondorf, the evil thief. Luckily he couldn't figure out how to return to the Light World. Well, remember that you have magical powers which only the hero can make most of. There are some other magical warping points like the one you saw on Death Mountain. By using them you can go between the two worlds and find the evils hidden in the Dark World. You are the only one who could destroy Ganondorf, the thief. No, Ganon, the evil king of darkness. Yeah, this was when Ganondorf of Ocarina of Time fame now became Ganon, the king of darkness. So, we have 2 dungeons beaten, and now we're going to move on to dungeon 3. So, until next time, motherfuckers. See you all in the near future. Bye for now. Peace.